to ask you if you heard the story about there was a MUFON report this past week recently that was in Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about that at all?
Yeah, I was actually talking to a few of my friends from MUFON about that. That's kind of also one of the things I've been doing lately is doing a lot of little local UFO stuff. People coming up and contacting me about that. I got a report on Reed Road as recently as last week about an amber light traveling along the road just above treetop level. This was just after sundown. So, and there's been tons and tons of reports that have come out of Dartmouth over the years. You know my mentor, Moniz, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he actually saw a craft in 1969 take off out of the water right in front of Round Hill, Hetty Green's place.
So I'm just taking a quick look at the National UFO Reporting Center site, and this sighting that's being referred to, it happened on December 29th. This one, the one that's reported, not the one, I'm not talking about the one that you got.
Is this the one over Padenarum?
I'm trying to see if it just says off Route 6 in Dartmouth.
Okay.
So here's what happened. It was reported as taking place at about 8 o'clock at night, because I'm looking at the occurred. Yep. The occurred time is December 29th, 20 hours, so that's 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And then it was reported on the 31st. All right. Well, see, here's where the skeptic in me is kind of like, wait a minute. So this happened on December 29th.
Didn't get reported till like the 31st. It took a day for the person to report.
December 31st at 5:48 in the morning. So you look at that and you say, okay, this took a little while for them to say something, right? Because that's a whole day later.
Yeah, but
is it possible that this person didn't know where to go with the report? Yeah. That they were telling friends, and friends were like, there's a National UFO Reporting Center.
Well, what usually winds up happening is 24 hours is actually pretty soon after an event. A lot of times, for most people, they're not used to seeing these things. And for a day to up to a week, they're still trying to mentally process what they've seen because they've been told. Same thing when we get reports of, ghost stuff. People wait a while before they try and talk to somebody because they're still trying to rationalize it in their mind, and then they finally got to say, like, I got to talk to somebody else. And then after they make that decision, okay, how do I find who to talk to? So finding, MUFON's number or the National Reporting Center or any of the other centers and stuff like that, it takes some time. So it being, less than 24 hours or within 24 hours is actually pretty soon.
Well, the report was, and we only have about 4 minutes before the news, but this person says they were picking up some takeout food off Route 6 in Dartmouth. Her husband called her attention to this object that had traveled over their heads. The object was large with 5 glowing white lights shaped like a jack's, sort of 5-pointed. So I'm assuming they mean like jacks, like, toy jacks. We pulled up to get a bit of a better look, turned around, and it was gone. So that was the sighting that was reported. And 5 lights in kind of like a jack shape. Is that any known aircraft that we know of?
The only thing that somebody could potentially say that's shaped like a flying jack is a lot of these drones.
That would be what I would think right away. And, obviously the drones that you and I are buying don't have bright enough lights that we would see them from the ground. Well,
ones we can afford. There are others that are shaped like that are far more expensive.
And military drones.
Yes.
Certainly. And are military drones, do they have lights?
Yes. Anything that flies is required to have lights by the FAA.
Whether or not they keep them on when they're up there.
Right. The military has rules that they can bend as far as, turning their lights off and things like that. But anything that flies is required to have navigation lights.
Well, I certainly want to get back into this, though, when we come back on the other side, because I think that part of what's lost on this, and I kind of wish, because Fun 107 put the story up. Abby put the story up and got it up there on the website. But I kind of wish they had been like, hey, Tim, there's a UFO story here, because I could have given them so much more background. Because we know about all the different UFO activity that's been reported over Dartmouth over the years. So in case anybody out there that might have saw this is listening in, we will give you a little bit more insight into the history of UFOs in Dartmouth, and we'll talk some more about some other paranormal topics as well coming up in the next hour.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything in the future. Also, make sure that you're following Spooky South Coast across all social media, especially Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.